Well, hello there. Out for a Saturday evening quick one. It has not been according to plan this past week. I knew that this weekend was going to be problematic because my wife and I were going to be taking a short trip for our anniversary. So I had anticipated getting out 2 to 3 times during the week for some evening hikes. Had that all lined up, and then I came down with a little bug that kept me from getting out there, and so that was starting to rack the deficit numbers back up again. Friday we left on our trip, and so that was a no-go day. And then Saturday, today, we arrived home, and we got back early enough that I thought, you know what, let's get out, get a quick one in, nothing fancy, but get some miles on. So that's what I'm out here doing. I'm out at Leita Thompson again. Had not anticipated getting back out here so soon since my most recent hike, but you do what you have to. Okay, I'm coming up near the end of my first time around. I think I've still got enough light left to do another loop, so I'm going to try and get that in, because one lap is going to get me just a little between 2.25, 2.5 miles, which just barely breaks even on my daily mileage expectation and does nothing towards cutting into the deficit. So one more time around, we'll chop just a little bit off. So I'm going to try that. There's been a few people out on the trail this time, nowhere near the numbers that I was seeing 2 weeks ago when I did my rundown of all the people. But some of the faces I have seen out here are ones that I recognize from that other trip, that they're out here doing their regular thing, and mutual acknowledgments all around, as I think there's some recognition starting to develop. But for now, I'm gonna finish this one, get started on my next lap, and we'll touch base further on. Well, I'm on the last stretch of my second loop, so time to close things out. The second time round was definitely quieter, far fewer people out even than first time. So getting to those earlier hours of darkness, and people start disappearing fast out here. Speaking of people disappearing, one interesting thing I've encountered on both times around, family doing some sort of project, I would say, geared towards Halloween. They had both video and still cameras out, doing some sort of shoot where first time it was the 2 boys with sheets draped over them, presenting themselves as ghosts, and second time around mom was also included in the fun with the sheet over her, this time all of them wearing sunglasses. So looked like they were having fun. Wish I could see what the final product looked like, but I'm sure it'll be something memorable for them. But that's it for me tonight. It's a quick one, and I just had to get it done. But thanks for coming along with me, and we'll see you on the next one. Okay, I messed that up. I'm gonna fix it. We'll see you on the next trail. Well, hello there. Out today on a Sunday afternoon hike. Still trying to make up for the past week's impediment to my progress. Out today up in the Boling Park area again, doing the hike out to Laurel Gap via the Trace Trail. thought this time I might see if I could include the green trail loop, which I haven't done before. But I'll be avoiding the yellow and purple trails where I had the less than optimal experience last time I was out here with all the areas impacted by the logging activity and misalignment of trail navigation. So, it's a quiet day today. Temperatures are mild but warm. So, we'll see what adventures there are for me out here on the trail. All right, well, coming up on a bridge that, if I recall correctly, it's a very narrow squeeze. So let's see if we can get a little of that covered on camera for you, get a sense of how this one is set up. So once you get up to the bridge, as you can see, it tapers up and is tight on the shoulders. Like right here, when I'm passing these, I'm squeezing my shoulders in to get past. And again, so if I wasn't filming, probably have to go through sideways for a more comfortable fit. But wanted you to get a sense of what bridge is like out here. I've been through it a few times now. Don't know if I ever properly gave the perspective on it. But we're continuing on. And just a little ways past that bridge, it's come to one of the more pleasant sections of this trail. Nice, relatively level pathway and close accompaniment to the river that you can see alongside me here through the trees. But we haven't had much rain lately, but it's still got a nice flow to it right here. So, sounds of the water running over the rocks. Always good for the soul when I'm out here. Well, I've moved into the next section of the trail where we've pulled away from the river and are starting to get more into the woods proper, and with that comes a little bit more variance in elevation along the trail, with, generally speaking, a bit of a ascent coming away from the river basin up into the surrounding hillsides. So, moving into this next phase of the hike, still going strong, a little over 1.5 miles in, and appreciating the shade because there's not really much breeze going today, so the air is very still. And if I was in direct sun at all, I'm sure it would be quite warm. But with the canopy overhead and plenty of shade to walk within, it's still quite comfortable out here. Well, I've passed the large trail junction where a number of trails meet up, the white, the green, and it used to be the orange loop. That's the area that was heavily impacted by the clear-cut logging that was done. And making my way along the white trail still out towards the Laurel Gap area. This is not the way I went last time. Last time I was following the sort of the logging road that had been established. Paid a little bit more careful attention to the maps and navigation this time, so I actually am following the right white trail correctly this time. So a little bit more natural and less vehicle friendly. In the distance, I don't know if you've heard any, but there's apparently some gunshots going off. There must be a firing range nearby or something. Hadn't heard it until I got up here. So I don't know if it's an actual range or someone's private property that they're shooting on, but fortunately it seems to be a ways away, so I'm in no danger. But I always like to be aware of things like that, because you never know. But I'm gonna continue on here, and we'll see what the trail has in store. Well, I found where the gunshots were coming from. It wasn't a shooting range. Looked like it was a father and his two sons in the woods, a little bit off the trail. Had a small fire going, and I'm not sure what they had been shooting at, but fortunately it was not in my direction, and I was able to call out, get their attention as I was getting up close, so they were able to cease fire as I made my way past their area. I don't know if they're done for now, done for good, or getting ready to resume, but I was at least able to make them aware of my presence, so that I will likely not be the victim of a random shot. Again, don't know exactly what they were shooting at, what their objective was out here, but kind of glad to be past it, because you never know. Well, last time I was out in these woods was early spring, and there was an interesting growth all about that I wasn't sure what it was. It consisted of straight, narrow shoots, basically a trunk, with a single cluster of leaves at the very top. And had no idea what it was. Kind of asked in the video if anyone knew. Well, they have grown up. They're all around me. Let's see if I can get, I've taken some still photos, but as you can see, these growths with the extremely large leaves are what they matured into. I don't know if it's some sort of elfin ear or related type of tree, bush, whatever, but they are everywhere out here, and gives a very distinctive feel to this section of the woods. Far different from what things were like at the start of the trail. But yeah, looks like they're starting to hit the fall season, and we've got a number of leaves that are dead or dying, and a large number have hit the ground already, but still plenty of green, so we're still early in that cycle. It'll be interesting to see as the next few weeks progress how things change rapidly. But yeah, a remarkable difference from what it looked like back in early spring when they were just getting their initial growth out. But nice to see life's progression, and get to take it all in. All right, well, I have successfully made it to the end of the trail, to where it crosses the creek here and meets up with the junction of multiple ATV tracks. At least that's, I think, the primary use that the trails in the distance here, or not so much trails, but the byways and tracks that are used here. You can see kind of the result of the ATVs coming through. So I'm gonna start making my way back. I'll do the green loop detour around when I get to that point, but it's been a good hike so far. Took a little rest here at the junction, took the pack off, got a snack, had some water. Feeling good for the way back. See how it goes. All right, well, I'm getting back close to the area where I heard the gunshots before, so need to be careful as to what's going on. You never know what you're going to encounter on the trail, including something like this. I just hit 700 miles. And yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm got good energy. Big milestone on the trail today. And I didn't get shot. All good things. So I'm gonna celebrate, have a drink of water, and finish this hike out strong. I just thought I'd share that with you all, because you're an important part of all this. Thanks. All right, I'm making my way along the green trail now. New trail for me. Haven't done this particular loop out here. So we'll see what the trail terrain and scenery is like here. It's a big loop back to the clear-cut junction area. So we'll be able to continue on our original trek once we complete the loop. But we'll see what things look like here. Well, I'm about halfway around the loop on the green trail, and so far I'd say it's living up to its name, because the entire way I have been surrounded by green. It's fully grown up around and close into the trail, so I am walking along a curvy green corridor the entire length of this loop. Wanted to take a minute to talk about mileage. You know, hitting the big milestone here brings some things into perspective. You know, I was really trying in September to push some bigger miles to try and close the gap on the deficit that I've accrued, and as a result, September actually ended up being my third highest month as far as total distance hiked. Seems that my best month was actually my first, January, where I got just over 90 miles in during that month. In May, I got about 89 and a half. And in September, with yesterday's hike being the last day of September, I pulled out 88 and a quarter miles. But what that means, since I just hit 700 and I have therefore 300 miles left, is I'm gonna have to average 100 miles a month for the next 3 months. So these last 3 months are gonna have to be my biggest ones of the year. I know lately I've been trying to push big miles on the weekends, but I have not been taking advantage of time during the week to get out and supplement that. And I think I've seen the folly in that approach, in that weekends alone are not going to do it for me. I have to be maximizing every opportunity to get out and hit the trail and put some miles down. So I'm going to have to significantly up my efforts and intentional outings and get done everything I can. We'll see how October goes, if I can pull out 100 or more miles. It's going to be about 25 miles a week. So today's the first day of the month. Probably going to get somewhere around, I'm thinking 9 or 10 miles in, and we'll just have to see what the week ahead holds for me and how well I can do at continuing to get out and put miles in. All right, I've reached a junction point where there's a little spur that cuts back to the white trail, and rather than having to go back uphill to the clear-cut junction area, I can take this and meet back up. So I'm going to do that. No need of retreading so much of the track I've already done. So I'm going to head on down this way. Hold the camera to this side so that the sun glare doesn't get you. And once I connect back up with the white trail, I'll be retreading area I've already covered today. So probably won't do a whole lot of coverage on the camera other than maybe taking some still photos of anything that looks particularly picturesque. So may not get much other video other than my closeout at the end. So just thought I'd give you the update on how things are going here with this cut through. It's kind of a narrow track, but most of the trail here recently has been a little narrow, and awkwardly making my way across here. Got a bit of a bridge across the bit of slight ravine that this cut through crosses, and looks like another bridge further along. So this is going to shorten my distance just a little bit, but given that this whole green loop was an extension from what the trail had originally indicated anyway, I'm fine with that. Plus, that way I get to see what's on this cut through, which I would have missed otherwise, as opposed to simply retreading along the white. All right, well, I think I'm past all the bridges and back into the environs of Boling Park proper. So I'm going to go ahead and close things out. I think I'm going to end up getting right around, or maybe just under 10 miles today. And actually one more bridge. I think this is the last one. But anyway, it's been a good hike, big achievement today, and good distance on a Sunday afternoon. Now, let's see what the week ahead holds, and if I can continue to maximize on my opportunities. But for now, thanks as always for coming along with me, sharing my time out here on the trail, and all the significant moments I have along the way. And we'll see you on the next trail.